Welcome to the new Workology Go Podcast. In just under 5 minutes, we'll get you the HR and workplace news you need before you start your day 2 times a week. Get ready, get set, and go with the new Workology Go Podcast.
Here are today's HR and workplace news headlines from the Workology Go Podcast. I'm Jessica Miller-Merrill. This podcast is sponsored by HSA Bank.
Programmatic advertising has been around for several years now. However, in its application in recruitment, it's fairly new. Research suggests that programmatic will gradually become the primary driver of recruitment advertising by 2020. I'm thinking about all things programmatic these days because I'm working on my new book called Digitizing Talent: Creative Strategies for the Digital Recruiting Age. It's being published by SHRM and should be available for purchase in spring of 2020. Today's featured article is the ultimate list of programmatic recruiting platforms from Kirill Nikolov on Medium. Now, I'll link to his really great resource on the transcript of this Workology Go podcast. Programmatic replaces traditional or conventional people-based job advertisement and management with technology. In other words, while your prospective candidates get all the information at the right time, the process is being managed through the application of big data, targeted ad placement, real-time bidding, and strategic campaign optimization. I talked with Jack Russell on programmatic basics on a previous Workology podcast. Here he talks about the 3 different types of job ads and where programmatic fits into our digital recruiting efforts.
So the number, to use consistent terminology here, there's 3 types of advertisements as it relates to job ads. There's the posting, and that's kind of the billboard model, that you put it up there and it's up for 30 days no matter what. You pay the fine price, so let's just say $50, and whether you get 1 posting or 1,000, you're still paying just for that initial posting price of $50. Then that's what's deployed by, we see with Monster, a lot of niche boards, Career Builder. Then there's the job slot, which is you have an opening. It's a parking spot, and you can put whichever car you want in there. So in which case you could put whatever job you want in there, but you only have 1 parking spot. And that's something that we see that's deployed by Dice, LinkedIn, where you could say, hey, I have this, an admin assistant role that I need filled. Then once you fill that after 6 days, well, then you can put another job. And that's usually on a monthly or annual basis for how you pay with that. And then there's pay per performance, which is what you mentioned before of CPC, so cost per click and cost per apply. And that's what Indeed uses. And, the way to think about it is that it's very much like Google AdWords. It's that you're paying for that click for that engagement. And so it's hard to juggle all 3 at once, but there are systems, programmatic systems that have been helping recruitment firms do that, and that's one that we here at Advanced are utilizing, and a lot of ad agencies are using as well.
Right now, programmatic is something that is being used mostly by large recruiting teams or those that work with recruitment marketing agencies. Although with the number of new platforms on the market, not to mention the increasingly competitive and expensive talent market, that is changing. I'll include some links to my favorite programmatic resources in the transcript of this podcast. Programmatic recruiting allows talent acquisition teams a better way to find talent, manage their spend, and do it in a way that is different than a 30-day job posting. In fact, programmatic is the way in which your job board is likely getting you candidates. Other partner job boards are getting paid per click or apply for any of the job postings that you have. These are just being shared on other job boards using programmatic.
With health savings accounts, flexible spending accounts, health reimbursement arrangements, COBRA, and commuter benefits, HSA Bank is simplifying the health account experience for over 35,000 employers and 2.7 million members alike, inspiring everyone to own their health. Learn more at hsabank.com.
And that's this episode of the Workology Go Podcast, sponsored by HSA Bank. We're your go-to for HR and workplace news. I'm Jessica Miller-Merrill. Thank you for listening.
To learn more about the Workology Go Podcast, subscribe to us on Apple, Google, and Stitcher. Our podcast is also available on Alexa and Google Home. Learn more at workology.com/Go Podcast and access this episode's resources, links, and reports for more information.